Hey beauties, in today's video I'm going to be doing something very different. I do have a mask on because I want to remove my nails and I don't want to breathe in the dust that I'm going to be causing from removing these nails. So if you do hear me sounding a little funny, it's because I have a mask on. So I'm going to be using these nail nippers that I got from Shein, and I am going to cut off my nails. As you can see, I do have some length down there, so I'm just going to try and preserve that as well. So basically, when I remove my nails, if I don't have any lifting, that's the first thing I do. And well, clearly I couldn't save her. She's gonna go to the trash, but had I removed her without breaking her, then I would have saved her for future use. But that's basically how I remove my nails. So I bought these nippers after I broke the other ones. They were, I guess I do my nails a little too thick, so I broke the other nippers, the normal ones that a lot of people use to remove their nails, and I got these ones because they're quite strong and they're big enough. And then I don't file off my gemstones, so I remove them using these nippers as well before I start shaving down the thickness of the nail. I try to remove as much as I can. Okay, I guess these are stuck down there, but I did try to remove those. If that's good enough. Right, and while we're still at it, I'm gonna be using this. I forgot what this is called exactly, but this is what I'm gonna be using to shave off the bulk of my nails. Does a pretty good job shaving off all the bulk. As soon as it gets close to my natural nail, then I change the bit. I do use the bit at a pretty high speed. Can't really tell what speed exactly because I'm using one of those old e-files that don't tell you what RPMs it is. But this is one of the bits that I have to be very careful with so that I do not hurt myself, because it can get a little dangerous. It took a little more practice for me to get comfortable with this. And I'm only comfortable using this on myself, actually. Well, I haven't done anyone's nails in a while, so it makes sense. I do not like to soak off my nails, so this is my removal method preference. And I've seen a significant change in the strength of my nails ever since I stopped soaking them off. They feel a little strong. As long as I don't file too much of my nails, then they'll stay strong. And then once I get close to the natural nail, I reduce the speed so that I don't get the chance of the bit catching on my natural nail and actually breaking it, because I am growing my natural nails on this hand. And as you can see, I'm getting very close to the sparkly top coats that I have on my natural nail, so that is giving me caution to slow down because I'm getting to my natural nail and I don't want to give myself a heat spike. At this point, I don't even think it's a heat spike when you just shave off your natural nail. I'm trying to not get myself rings of fire or hurt myself. So the sparkly top coat is to spark my attention. And I got this tip from Anne Elizabeth, and that's pretty much how far I'll go with this bit on my natural nail. Okay, so I'm just going to remove the dust so that we can work on the rest of the material that's on the nails. I am going to remove this bit and put the sanding band in, not this plain conveniently wanting to fly over as I'm doing my nails. I'm going to reduce the speed of the sanding band. I don't particularly like the sanding band because I feel like it creates more heat than this bit right here. This one is not as hot, and I don't know if it's because I use this closer to my natural nail, but I generally don't like sanding bands in general. I would prefer using a hand file instead, but just to remove anything that's lifting like you just saw, I'll use this. And when I get even closer to the natural nail, I will use a hand file instead. Sanding bands for me are just a no-no. No matter how careful I am, I tend to not be careful enough. So you can see this is removing the top layer of the builder gel that I had on my natural nails, which I generally don't mind removing because anyway it is peeling. Usually when I remove my nails, I want to start from scratch applying the builder gel so that I don't have any possibility of lifting while I have the extensions on my nail. I do ensure that the speed is not too high when I use a sanding band, and I only go as low as I comfortably feel. So you can see that I still have builder gel on this part of the nail, and I'm okay with that. As long as it's not lifting, I'm okay with working with that. But anything that's lifting, I remove so that I do not have any moisture getting trapped in the nail and so forth. So I'm okay with leaving my nail like that with some builder gel on the natural nail and then getting on with the rest of the nails. Okay, so more dust to remove and natural nails. That's how they look, a little jagged, but it's okay. And then I like to work on my cuticle areas next, and I actually use this bit. It's very gentle to my cuticle areas, and I use it at a low speed. It does sound like it's a high speed. This is an old e-file, so there's no way of it not sounding dangerous. So forgive me for that. I actually use this to even push my cuticles back with this. Remove all the dry skin, but also make sure that I'm not pushing too hard so that I have like rings of fire. But anything by my cuticle areas that is dry, I just remove using this. And it's gentle. I think the flat top helps with that. Alright. So now that we've done most of the filing, I am going to use this nail file just to finish up the filing of the nail and also reshaping if there's any reshaping that I need to do on the natural nail. Usually the tips of my nail are the thinnest, so I try to be very gentle so that I don't break the nails. I think this might be my first time having nails this long, so I'm learning as I go. I'm learning to take care of my nails as I go. And sometimes when I'm hand filing, I see cracks to show that I still have nail product on there, and if the cracks are too bad, then I will go ahead and remove them, because like I said, I do not want any opportunity for moisture to get stuck in my nails so that I have like greenies or stuff like that. So anything that lifts, I remove. But for the most part, I usually do have some product left on my nails from the previous builder gel, and as long as it doesn't lift, I will keep it there. And more dust being removed. I still have a lot of mess here, so don't mind that. And I'm not sure how my camera is looking, because right now it just looks like there's dust everywhere. But anyway, I'm gonna get this slanted nail clippers, and anything that is hanging off after filing the cuticle areas, anything that is dry, that is sticking out, I remove. I try not to file I try not to clip off too much, because I tend to do that. But all these dry skin, I remove. And sometimes I still have some of that dryness underneath it. As you can see, I didn't remove everything. And if I can get it with these nail clippers, I do that. Okay, so I washed my hands and I cleaned up the area. I'm just gonna use sanitizer once again, just in case I touched anything as I was getting ready to do the next step. And as the alcohol dries, which is a sanitizer, I am going to use this Bling Girl primer. Oop, and I touched my nail again. So what's important for me is that when I apply this primer, I do not touch my hand, and I make sure that my nails are dry. So just apply the primer. Some people go for double coats of primer. I prefer one, to be honest. I just feel like sometimes when I do two, I don't know if it's in my head, but sometimes when I do two, I just feel like the base coat peels off quicker. So I'm gonna use this rubber base coat. It's thicker and it also helps with the strength of my nails. As you can see, I still have some of that top coat from my previous builder gel, from my previous builder gel, but I try not to file all the way to my natural nails so that it's not too wobbly and too thin, because that's how the nail breaks. Okay, so now I'm gonna use this builder gel. It is a nude number 7, Miss Smooth, my favorite brand, and I did not wipe any of the tacky layer from the rubber base coat. I'm just gonna apply this builder gel, and I try not to put too much on the nail. I like to start with these 4 fingers so that I do not have some spillage on my thumb. And to be honest, I don't build a very thick layer of this builder gel. I just brush it on as if it's a thick gel polish, because I've noticed that the thinner it is, the more manageable it is. And by manageable, I mean it doesn't lift, but my nail doesn't look too thick. Because sometimes when I build a nail with this builder gel, the nail becomes too thick, and in no time, I've got like a broken area on top of the nail, like a broken piece of builder gel, leaving the nail uneven, which can potentially lead to the nail breaking altogether. So the thinner the better, and the nail is strong still with just this thin layer of builder gel. So this is what works for me. I used to build a nail with these, and when I look at my nails like that, they'd be thick, but those ones would chip easily. And I less likely have heat spikes when the layer of builder gel is thin as well. So when I cure my nails, it's rare for me to feel any heat spikes. This is probably not the right way of applying builder gel, but like I said, this is what works for me. Thick enough to keep my nails strong, but not too thick. And that's how I like it. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cure that. Alright, now that that is cured for a full 60 seconds, I will be using this Bling Girl shimmer top. I had stored this upside down because it was just starting to get a little too hard to get some of that product out. Maybe I should be getting a mixing plate, if that's what it's called. I think I am running out of that shimmer top, so that's fine with me. I think this is the best way I could get to use it because I was not using it ever since I bought it at Bling Girl China Mall. So this is just the perfect way to use it. I still have other builder gels that I could use with the yellowish color that I could use for this too, which I used to use, but it just didn't look nice on my natural nails. But if I'm gonna be using it under nails, I figured it's fine. But since I make videos, I just didn't find it pleasing to look at in my videos, so I still need to get through to those as well. But these are thick shimmer tops, which also helps with the strength of the nail, I believe. And I'll go ahead and cure that. And that's how my natural nails are looking. I hardly put on cuticle oil when I do my natural nails because usually I go in and do my nail extensions afterwards. But even when I don't do my nail extensions afterwards and I stay with my natural nails for a week or so, I usually just don't even put cuticle oil because I just get on and be busy with other things immediately thereafter. But all in all, that's how my natural nails are looking, and that's how I like to keep them when I don't have any nail extensions on or just underneath my nail extensions. This is how I keep my nails well taken care of, and it seems to work. As you can see, I have a little bit of length. I don't think I've ever had this much length on all my nails all together. Usually it's just one or two that survive and the others break, but ever since I got this advice from watching Anne Elizabeth's videos on how she takes care of her nails, I've seen it to be working for me. So that's how I take care of my natural nails. So let me know what you think about this process. If you feel like there's anything I could do to improve my nail care, let me know in the comment section down below. And if you've watched all the way to the end, please leave a star emoji in the comment section to let me know that you've been watching all the way, and I appreciate you for watching. Please subscribe so that you do not miss any of my upcoming videos, and I hope you stay tuned for my next video. Thanks for watching once again. Bye.